U.S. Lacrosse presents the 2018 Girls Lacrosse High School Rules Interpretation. This year's rulebook contains many highlighted items. While there have been some rule changes, the majority of the book's highlighted areas are clarifications and edits. 2018 Major Rule Changes. Rule 1, Section 1, Playing Area. A boys and girls unified field may be used. This field is optional. When using the unified field option for high school play, the 120-yard field must be used. Rule 2, Section 2, the field cross. Although some of the stick specifications in Appendix B of the rulebook have changed, Rule 2, Section 2 of the rulebook has been simplified. The official's focus when inspecting sticks shall be based on a performance standard rather than the manufacturer's specifications. Pocket depth, free movement of the ball, and shooting strings are the main requirements of the performance standard. These changes allow for a greater variety of pockets legal for play, including mesh. When checking a stick, the officials shall check the pocket depth of both the front and back of the pocket to assure that the top of the ball remains above the top of the sidewall. Officials also must check for the ability of the ball to roll freely in all parts of the pocket. If the stick is strung with shooting strings, the pocket of the stick must have no more than 2 shooting strings, both of which must be attached directly to the sidewalls. Shooting strings may not be coiled more than twice between thongs or be made from flat laces. The pocket may not have holes or gaps that are larger than 1.68 inches in diameter. This can be measured by using a spherical-shaped object that is equivalent in diameter to an American golf ball. Rule 3, Section 7. Timer's responsibilities. Coaches may ask the table personnel for a timeout during a clear possession by their team, and the timer may sound a horn to stop play during either a dead or live ball situation. Rule 4, Section 2. Official timeouts. Stick check requests are not allowed during an injury timeout. Stick checks may be requested after a goal, during a timeout, or any time the game clock is stopped. Teams are allowed 2 stick checks during a game. However, the team requesting the stick check will not lose any of its 2 allowable requests if the stick in question is found to be illegal. Upon a team's second stick request where the opponent's stick is found to be legal, no penalty will be assessed. Teams will only be assessed a penalty if a third stick check is requested. Rule 5, Section 2. Draw stick positioning. Stick positioning on the draw has changed. Stick must now be in a vertical plane and parallel to the center line. The handles of both sticks shall be set in a plane parallel to the ground. Rule 5, Section 2. Draw player positioning. During a draw, players other than the centers may have their sticks extended over the center circle. They may also be extended over the restraining line. This may happen prior to a team gaining possession so that a player may pick up a ground ball. In doing so, her stick may touch the ground. As a ball approaches the restraining line, players may reach over the line and their sticks may touch the ground to play or attempt to possess the ball, as long as their feet are not on or over the restraining line. Rule 5. Draw penalties. The fouls classified as draw fouls have changed. The only fouls considered draw fouls occur between the 2 players taking the draw. These fouls are moving after the official says ready and before the whistle is blown. The player's head may move. Not drawing. Drawing too soon. First draw movement not being up. Draw fouls are still penalized at the center line, and the opponent will be placed at a 45-degree angle in front of the player with the ball. If both players draw illegally, a redraw shall be taken. Other fouls occurring during the draw that were previously considered draw fouls are now considered minor fouls. These are referred to as player positioning or early entry fouls during the draw. These fouls include stepping into the center circle prior to the whistle being blown for the draw, stepping on or inside the restraining line before possession is gained, if that makes more than 3 players from a team. Note, players may exchange if the number of players between the restraining line remains 3 or fewer. These are minor fouls and are all penalized at the spot of the ball when the foul occurs. The ball shall be awarded to the closest non-offending player, and the closest opponent shall be placed 4 meters away toward the goal she is defending. All other players must be at least 4 meters away as well. If there are offsetting fouls, an alternate possession shall be awarded at the spot of the ball at the time of the fouls. Offsetting violations of the draw and early entry will result in an alternate possession at the spot of the ball at the time of the fouls. Rule 9, Section 1. Minor fouls. Early entry on the draw has been added as a minor foul. The penalty for early entry shall be administered at the spot of the ball when the foul is called. Pre-game protocol. Pre-game protocol options have been added to standardize warm-up procedures. (2018) points of emphasis. Illegal defensive positioning. Obstruction of free space to goal. Opportunity to shoot. Before obstruction of free space to goal can be called, the ball carrier must have an actual opportunity to shoot. An opportunity to shoot must be initiated by the ball carrier. Not only must there be a safe lane to goal, but the ball carrier must have her hands and body in such a position that taking a shot is physically possible. If opposing players are marking each other and are within the free space to goal, there is no safe free space to goal, and therefore no opportunity to shoot. If a player's hands are not free, or her body is not facing the goal area, there is no opportunity to shoot. Players must always have regard for the space they are shooting towards. If an opportunity to shoot does not exist, obstruction of free space should not be called. Point of emphasis. Contact in the midfield. Incidental versus dangerous. Girls lacrosse is intended to be a game that flows as continuously as possible, not one that is burdened by frequent stoppages of play. The safety of all players is a priority for the Rules Committee. Rough and dangerous play in the midfield not only disrupts the flow of play, but also puts players at significant risk for injury. Legal contact, whether incidental or deliberate, can occur between opponents during the normal course of play. However, contact that occurs which physically forces the opponent out of her position or off of her path is illegal contact. Deliberate illegal contact such as cross-checks or pushes made to the body on any offensive player in a defenseless position must be carded. Officials should also consider carding players who repeatedly commit fouls in the midfield. Point of emphasis. Cross in the sphere and checks to the head. It is the responsibility of the defender to keep her stick out of the sphere and throat area of the ball carrier. Defenders who penetrate this space and throat area should be assessed a major foul. Repeated violations of this rule may be carded. This rule applies whether or not the defender is in a legal checking position. The sphere is an area that extends with a radius of approximately 7 inches out from the head of the ball carrier. A check to or towards the head of an opponent or a check that causes the ball carrier's stick to contact their own head are mandatory cards. Point of emphasis: professionalism. Both U.S. Lacrosse and the NFHS continue to encourage all coaches, players, officials, and administrators to conduct themselves in a professional manner before, during, and immediately following all contests. We remind coaches and players to avoid the use of excessive dissent or abusive language directed towards opponents or officials. For the safety and respect of players and officials, coaches are reminded to stay off the playing field and in their coaching area during play. Finally, in order to have productive dialogue among players, coaches, and officials, everyone involved in the game needs to be respectful of each other and their role in the game. Together, we will continue to offer athletes a positive experience on and off the lacrosse field. Thank you for watching, and good luck in your season.